Body's aching all over the world today, and it's hard to see their face, but only time, if only time could tell me, on what will my heart weak? We gotta reach out and give a hand while you can, all over the world. All over the world. Yeah. So I gathered up about 30 musicians and singers in the area, brought in people, friends, come on in and sing. We do something like We Are the World type thing, you know. And George did that for free, and Walter Ricky brought in his network and did all the video for that. Everyone worked for nothing for that. Of course we will work for nothing. And put that song out there. Here there was an event in Calgary that they played it, and we tried to raise some money with that. I think they did okay. The solo career was already before that too. And that I had the Rick Rock band, and we were doing stuff, and my songs like Radio City, you know, became sort of popular. I got it on the radio a few times here and there, and CKLW actually used that as one of the morning show songs, I think, for quite a while. That bumper type thing. And there's a few other songs I got out there, a little bit of success with that. But the thing is, I never pursued it. I didn't have the connections and the management to get to LA or wherever that was. You know, you hear all these people, you know, oh, I'm from here, they're all from these small towns and stuff. But somehow they got out of there and got their music themselves into the right hands. And that's what it takes. You know, regardless of the music, there's good sounding music out there, and there's not very good sounding music. But it's the connections. Who gets the airplay? Who gets, you know, to be next?
The next project after that, was it on a solo basis, or was
solo? Solo. Ended up playing a lot of acoustic. This was really happening around. A lot of us guys were getting a little older and stuff. And band stuff, and we didn't want to play in clubs and bars and play till 1 o'clock. All of a sudden, all these restaurants and little pockets, you know, golf course places, wineries, want to have a little bit of duo or solo career stuff. And I started doing solo duos with a few people. And that was a lot of fun. And just kept working. Actually, you can get more work today as a solo acoustic guitar player, singer, or if you're a piano player. And you can play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, in a lot of different places, and earn some pretty good money. Not great money, but and then you just improve it. But because you're playing by yourself, you got to be pretty good. But to play for 3-4 hours, you have to have enough material, right?
Absolutely.
And you have to have enough of the right material for where you're playing for. So I started learning country. I started learning some older style music. And then the casino opened up here, right? The big casino, Caesars. And I was working there in the crew and seeing all the great, you know, performers coming here, Winkle Stars, All-Star Band, Lee and Young. We were setting up for, you know, Billy Joel, everybody in that. And so I was just etching again. I'm like,
Let's talk about Blood, Sweat, and Brass.
oh, I had an opportunity. First of all, I went to hear Blood, Sweat, and Brass, great musicians and singers from the area here. And they were playing at the casino, Motor City Casino here. No, Motor City Casino in Detroit, here at Cosmos. And I got to hear them a couple of times. And then Joe Cardinal asked me, he says, our one singer, he can't make a couple, he can fill in. So I got to fill in his parts. He got to fill in for Blood, Sweat, and Brass. And then Max Policano, the Elvis to the Max, great guy, great friend. He couldn't make some shows, so I had to learn Max's part. So I stepped in his sub for him. And then Joe could make some shows, so I stepped in for. I was learning. There was three lead singers in that 10-piece band of 3 singers, brass players, great stuff, beautiful stuff. That's where I got to do the Otis Redding and a few other brass. If I can get on some big stage sometime, how am I going to get on stage? So, Rick, why don't you do the Queen thing? I don't know about the tribute acts. I don't.
Okay, let's go to Queen because
You want to worry? You want to wait on that?
the original Queen tribute band that you had prior to Simply Queen lasted, I guess, it was 3 years. Tell us,
A year and a half. We were rehearsing a lot.
tell us first of all, when we ended, how long that?
The game. That was the game. And that was guys from around this area here. And we started rehearsing every Tuesday. Let's put together a tribute. Tribute things are getting more popular in North America. You know, Rick wants to do the tribute of Queen. And so there was focus around me and that. And we just worked our butts off to do that. We did 3 shows. We were together for a year and a half, rehearsed more. We're just about getting it polished. It just wasn't gelling right. It just, and at that time, the Queen movie wasn't out yet, Queen Rhapsody. So it was, Queen was just like another tribute act type thing in the events. We didn't have a manager thing in that. You know, let's do a couple things. And we tried a few things, but it just wasn't there. I don't know what it was, but it's a few things, but it just wasn't.
Wasn't clicking.
It wasn't clicking like we wanted. It wasn't the Queen act that I wanted.
So you refocused, rethought the project.
I got a
and-
call from Toronto, a couple calls from Toronto, guys that know the Queen stuff. That's what happened.
And that became Simply Queen.
Simply Queen, when
Yeah.
I first started, there was 2 guys from Toronto area, Bob Wagner and Greg Hocko. And they said, we started a Queen tribute, but the singer is not happening and he's gone off or so. We don't really have a bass player yet, but we've got a guy in mind. But come on down and audition for us. We did a couple shows around the Toronto area and it was gelling. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. And I had to improve a little bit more and more. Sure, I had the Freddie thing up front. I had that moment for me, you know. But it was getting off and on the piano and stuff like that. The only guitar acoustic stuff I do is with Freddie did Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and there's a couple other songs now I'm playing. I Want It All or so on acoustic. Otherwise, I'm on piano or just vocals the whole night, the Queen show.
Can we talk about the current lineup of Simply Queen, the guys that you've got this great rapport with and who you're currently performing with?
One by one, we got Mitch, who was in the game with me. And me and Mitch go back to California days and all kinds of, 30 years back. Anyway, so Mitch joined. We got Mitch in. My old Phil Charette from the game. He's now in with us. So we got Mitch and Phil back on. And brought Chuck Lambert in, veteran here in Windsor, and played with Mitch, me, everybody. And so we went back to the drawing board and rehearsed with Chuck. We also have a substitute guitar player. I should mention his name. He's been off out in the band, Wayne Breyer. He's from the Toronto area, Oshawa area. Great guy too. And he fills in whenever we can, when we put Chuck or so in that super guy. So we have that backup there, which is great. But we went into the draw board, back into my basement and rehearsed while COVID's going on, with or without masks, whatever. We were just working and we were saying, we need to get our visa again from the United States, because the United States is going to open up before us, Canada. We need to pay for the visas and union dues and all. Let's roll the dice, right? And take a chance. And we're one of the first bands back. We started in Florida and a few other places. And the bands weren't playing, or they weren't back together, or they quit. There are so many people that quit from COVID. So we said we're determined. And with Chuck, we reworked the songs, reworked the vocals, reworked everything. I could include on the piano. I worked. Sure. Either by ourselves or whatever. Sure, both. And then, obviously, since then, all of a sudden the movie started clicking. 2019, 2020, and we were getting work. Now we're just steady work. It's happening. We played on Kiss invited us for their cruise. We were on the Kiss cruise a couple of years ago. Fabulous. We've been invited to go to Turks and Caicos coming up soon. We played at the Cayman Islands, Bermuda. Those are nice, almost like paid vacations. But we're on this circuit. We play Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, and then all of Ontario. And then we get work in Edmonton, BC, and other places.
What is the feeling like when you walk out on stage and you look out compared to years ago when you started, there's 10 or 12 people sitting in the bar, and you look out and there's 4, 5, 6,000 people.
I know.
What does that feel like?
It's great.
Hey! Are you ready for some fun? All right. Ooh, let's go. Steamboats whirling down the street with a boom boom way down. Ain't no sound but a sound of the feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat?
As Rick the vocalist emulating Freddie Mercury, what was it like to learn the tremendous work you put into choreography, the presence of Freddie Mercury?
It's a work in progress. And I talked to 3, 4 other guys that are doing Freddie Mercury and other tributes, United States, Australia. Now we talk, take things together and that. We all have the same kind of feeling. We're just going to try and do the best we can, because you can't do exactly. I mean, I'm up there for 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, trying to, you know, do what Freddie does and everything. And lots of times I get caught back in the Rick Rock. I'm walking like Rick Rock, or I'm you know, no, I got to be in that character. And if you're doing like Mick Jagger, my gosh, someone who's doing Mick Jagger, Stones, that guy is going to be so tired. Same as the Freddie thing, you know.
Out of the first 40 plus years of performing, pick out the number one nightmare experience of the band being on the road.
Crazy nightmare that turned into a pretty good thing. We were invited to play in Montana a couple years ago. Great guy. He's got this small diamond. It's 4th of July in Montana. It's a small town in Montana. And right before we go up to play, it starts pouring really bad, and all of a sudden it slows down, and that guy's trying to get his PA back. It's all fried. It's all fried. And even though the Wi-Fi, I mean, everything is just gone. He's got nothing going on. We're waiting in the trailer, waiting, you know. We went up there with our Freddie and clothes and all this stuff like that, with an acoustic guitar, okay? Not plugged in, acoustic guitar, a tambourine, and us a cappella, trying to pull off a Queen show. And we went through a bunch of songs, and the crowd, I invited, come on closer to the stage and sing with us and that. And they were trying to be quiet so they didn't hear us. And we're talking, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 people. And it was working. It was working. Finally, they get some sound or some power, and they had a couple monitors working. And we finished the show with a couple monitors, one microphone, and that. And Bill, drummer's trying to play a little bit on the drums and that, but you know there was really no power in that. But we finished the show. They were crazy. They wanted an encore and all that stuff, and it was, I don't know what we did again, but we played almost with like no sound.
This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get around to it. I ain't ready. This little thing called love. This thing called love, it cries a bit in the cradle all night. It swings, it chimes, shakes all over like a jellyfish. You got lucky. There's a little thing called love.
We're performing to, you know, 3 to 5, 10,000 people here sometimes for these festivals. There's 50 to 80,000 people in Australia, Europe, and all these other places in the world. Way above. So, you know, I'd like to get to that level so that we could fly up there and do 3, 4 shows and do some wonderful things.
So going back to putting you in front of that classroom of young musicians.
Okay, yep. They need to find a mentor first. I think maybe that's someone can direct them a little bit. You know what I mean? Like look outside the box. And Joe, you saw me playing in my garage. We didn't talk about that. Joe was behind the scenes for a lot of things. He was in front of the scenes too. He brought a lot of shows people don't know. He's very modest about this. He likes to share what other people have done in this area, but Joe's done a lot of work and brought a lot of acts and stuff into this area. And he's taken the time to see how good we are, what we can do, how we can improve. Hey, you need another player. And he was a mentor back then when I was 13, 14 years old. And I think you need to have 1, 2, 3 people in your life that can direct you, see what you're doing and direct you. But I'll never forget, and I had to mention this in this interview, that I'm not saying just because he was here, but thinking back, he was instrumental for me to say, hey, there's people watching. This is what you need to do. Hey, you guys need to dress like this. You need to do this. And Joe had those elements to educate some of the young players. Mahogany Rush, I was young, I was really young. It was in the basement of the Cleary Auditorium. And it was an opening band called
Mighty Quick.
Mighty Quick. And you remember that? And a lot of people don't know who's Mighty Quick. I don't know if they were from Windsor or Detroit.
So I approached, which was Mighty Quick back then, which was Brian Dancer and Danny Ball.
They were in that?
Yes.
Come on.
And I said, bring me 8 new songs. And they sat down. A week and a half later, they called me up. They said they were ready. I said, what do you mean ready? Well, we got 8 original songs, so ready to be on your rush.
I was sitting on the floor, like the first time I smelled marijuana and stuff like that. My brother was there and he said, what are you doing here? Me and my friend, we came. You should be here and all that stuff. I said, sure I should. And when Frank Marino played, oh my gosh, that was starstruck. He had a wall of Marshalls and stuff, and they were louder than hell. Yeah, he was doing all Hendrix. Queen, I saw them when they came out with Bohemian Rhapsody in '75 at Sonic Temple. Pictures shows. Yeah, they were very impressive. Yes, is another band. Vocally, musician-wise, keyboard-wise, everything. Professionalism. Boy, when those British acts, when they come over here, that was another different. I learned that. Me and my friend Kenny used to always say, the British, when we see their setup, and when they open up, like when a band, say like Roxy Music, when they open up, that opening, it could be a curtain drop, it could be something that they do, and the sound is perfect from the first note. Well, that's Yes is another band, definitely live, that was like, just like the record, but it was like there. Meet the artist, help sponsor this. This is a good platform. This is really good, and share it with other people, because there might have been something I said or something else in another interview that might inspire someone else out there to do more than what they thought they could do. Otis Redding, Try a Little Tenderness. Do you know this song? Ooh, she made me weary. Young girls, they do get weary. It just goes from there. It just builds. That song just builds to the end. And I got an opportunity to do that one. Original maybe or something like that. Whatever you like.
It was Sunday morning when I walked off of the plane, and I knew the moment we first embraced. Holding your hand, we walked into the mountain range and felt the twin energy so embrace. It's when spirits brings us together. Spirits keeps us forever. Spirits holds us as one in love, in life. When spirits brings us together. Moses has one little lamb.